about you is that you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of you.
What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I know I said I would probably be back Sunday, but I decided let's get this out. Let's get this done. Tyreek, man, he created quite the rumble with his episode, which went live basically just before I went live yesterday. So that's why I couldn't get to it yesterday, but we'll get to it today. What I've done is what I usually done for you guys when we got these kind of podcasts. I went through, I clipped out all the Dolphins relevant stuff, so we don't got to listen to the fluff about Rosenhaus, swimming with and fishing for sharks and stuff like that. We're just going to hear the good stuff, right? The stuff worth our time. So I've trimmed it down into I think the pod episode is like 59 minutes. I've trimmed it down to about like 16. So we'll go through all the stuff that matters in terms of why he left. There's a lot of interesting stuff about his Kansas City situation that I think Dolphin fans would be interested to hear. So we'll talk about that stuff. And yeah, another interesting thing was too, I remember, if you guys remember a couple weeks ago, we did a show. Is this the best roster, in recent memory? And I went all the way back to the early 2000s trying to have to find a comparable roster. Well, the Palm Beach Post is coming out with their top 25 Dolphin players ever. And they said revisiting that list and making that list has basically helped them realize how good this roster really is. And they actually wrote something about it. So we'll go over that. Bleacher Report, they put out what we learned about every NFL team so far during this offseason, and what they say about the Dolphins will probably not surprise many people. And then on top of that, there was a mailbag for the Sun Sentinel, and a lot of running back talk handled in it. It was David Feronas, the homie, handled it. And, as you guys know, obviously the offensive line, but this running back situation has been really something of interest to me lately, that I've kind of been talking about, right? So we'll go ahead. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. We got a lot to go over, man. For a random Saturday night stream. Already 130 of you in the room. Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. We're about to hit 8,200. We are about just over 1,800 away as well. I'm about to hit 8,200 and just over 1,800 away from hitting 10,000. So smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new, support the show, help me out with my friend Algorithm. Appreciate everyone coming out. I'm not even expecting a lot of people to show up tonight because I was pretty certain yesterday I wasn't coming back tonight, but here we are. Gavin Hunt, any info on the Kareem Hunt rumors? There are no Kareem Hunt rumors. Anything you've heard about Kareem Hunt is purely speculation. There is nothing to any Kareem Hunt to the Dolphins talk right now. Now, in terms of the only rumors that are making sense right now, and I've talked about this on the show, is because of them bringing back to Ernest Johnson. There is a thought amongst the league that Kareem Hunt can be had right now. But if you're talking about the Dolphins and Kareem Hunt, there is nothing to report between the Dolphins and Kareem Hunt. All right. There is nothing there. They're pretty deep at running back right now. We're seeing ZaQuandre White. I've told y'all since rookie minicamp, I've been hearing he's showing up. They're not going to trade for Kareem Hunt right now. All right. And they've been pretty adamant that they don't want to touch their draft capital next year, and especially in the first 3 rounds. I'm not saying Kareem Hunt would fetch a first, but a second or a third are not unlikely in terms of what the Cleveland would be asking for compensation back. So I don't necessarily think that's going to go down. Gavin, if you heard, whoever you heard say that, they're wrong. Never happened. The Dolphins were not approached about a 3rd round pick for Kareem Hunt. Whoever told you that is incorrect. All right. And there's a lot of people in this community who were certain as hell, all hell, that Deebo Samuel was going to be a Dolphin any day. And I kept telling y'all, if this thing was going to happen, it's going to happen next year. It's not going to happen this year. It's pretty freaking adamant about that. And so let's be careful who we listen to. All right. All right. All of a sudden, after Reason comes out here with sources and starts hitting on things, all of a sudden, all these other people are claiming sources and stuff like that in the community. We need to relax a little bit. I've talked about this before. It's ridiculous, man. All right. People with 0% batting averages still claiming sources and such. We need to relax right now. All right. So that's how I feel about that stuff. Yeah, no problem, Gavin. But the Kareem Hunt, listen, right now they've got we've got Gaskin, Ahmed, ZaQuandre White, who they just brought in as a UDFA. All right. Then they got Sony Michel, who they just signed. Right? Then they got Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds. There's way too many backs right now. Way too many backs going on right now. Way too many backs. So people need to relax. They are not bringing in. Are any news on bringing in another O-line player? None whatsoever, bro. Nothing's gonna happen until bodies start getting cut in camp. Nothing is going to happen until bodies start getting cut in camp. That's literally what you need to be waiting for. Right? You're not going to see guys getting cut till August. There's always going to be surprise cuts, et cetera, et cetera. They got $16.5 million. They're just chilling right now. You're not going to see anything major until people start getting cut randomly. And I love Kareem Hunt. Remember last year I said if we were trading X, that was a guy that, the Cleveland Browns. Hey, speaking of that video, you remember all the pushback I got last year when I said I would trade him to the Cowboys for their 10th overall pick and Tony Pollard because Tony Pollard hadn't popped off yet? And I got so much pushback, like, oh, who's Tony Pollard? Oh, Tony Pollard, blah, 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 blah. And then Tony Pollard has the season he has last year. Unbelievable. Now, I'd still take X over Tony Pollard, but ridiculous. Anybody on the O-line impressing you? Man, no one's impressing me right now. Everyone's got shorts on. Everyone got shorts on. So listen, my whole motto for this channel since OTAs began up until this point has been take notice of things, but don't put stock in anything. So I ain't getting excited or overhyped or anything like that. I'm just not. What's the point of getting worked up about the underwear Olympics? Andravia said some people having a heart attack today over this. Over what? The Kareem Hunt stuff? I don't know who started this Kareem Hunt thing, but that person needs to relax. Okay? Because there's nothing to that at all. This team has been adamant they're not moving off of capital next year. All right. They even talked about they had multiple chances to move up in the draft this year, but what did they say? We didn't want to touch any of our capital next year. Oh, over Tyreek. I know it's crazy, Dre. Bro, people are out here losing their minds. Well, okay. Well, if that's where it came from, Gavin, you can tell them Reason said that's inaccurate and incorrect. And I got no problem saying that to anyone. But yeah, like this whole reaction to Tyreek Hill and everything like that, I don't get it, man. Like, I do not understand the obsession with I just don't get it, man. I mean, like, whose girlfriend did this guy steal? Whose wife did Tua sleep with? Like, I don't understand the obsession that even when nice stuff is said, we got to come out. And here's the thing. And you see in this community, but you also see it in the mainstream media. Anything negative is the truth hold it to the highest standard. That's the truth. Anything that comes out positive, oh, well, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, we're taking anything negative at face value, but when positive stuff comes out, oh, well, we can't take it at face value because blah, 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 blah. It's such a case of trying to have your cake and eat it too. Like, there's such a double standard at play. It's honestly ridiculous. Like, I just don't. And the fact that people can't even see they're doing it themselves is even more troublesome. Like, I mean, we're talking about new levels of ignorance here when people don't even realize what they're doing continuously and to the extremes they're going to. It's nuts. Like, it's nuts, man. Just try and find a common ground. I mean, what the hell, bro? Is it really that hard for people just to like... Tyreek Hill is at the point right now where, bro, can we start believing this? What does this guy have? Does he have to take a lie detector? Like, we're past the point of trying to build your quarterback's confidence right now. Like, he could have gone that whole episode without even talking about Tua and whatever, or saying one thing. I don't know, man. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I believed everything Tyreek said. I believe, because we're past the point of trying to build confidence. We are now into open book, I'm being transparent territory here. Because he's even comparing him to other people to make his point. But even if he feels like the comparison makes the other person, like he's talking down on them, he's even saying like the Matt Moore thing, like 2 is 10 Matt Moores, but he even still says, yo, I love Matt Moore. He still tells you, I love Matt Moore. I like Matt Moore. I love him as a person, but he's still saying, yeah, but like that's what I'm saying here. Like Tyreek Hill, we're at the point where the guy's just being real, man. Like, I don't know what else to tell people. He's just being real. And I'm sorry that people are in their feelings and don't like that. That's just what it is right now. So, I don't know, man. I've never, like, even Tyreek Hill's catching strays now because of this. You know what I mean? So, and this is a guy who, man, people in the media see clips from OTAs. This is a guy who's seeing him on every snap, every down. But all of a sudden, now Tyreek Hill is this unbelievable. He can't be believed. I don't get it. So, you know what? With that said, let's get into this, I guess. We're going to go ahead. We'll get into this. We'll get into this whole podcast, episode 1. It was actually a really good podcast. Really good. The Rosenhaus stuff, because A, he was in a car, and B, especially at the end there for the last 11 minutes, didn't really add anything to it. But let's get into it. I've chopped it down into about 16 minutes. It was like a 59-minute video. I've chopped it down to about 16 minutes. And it's just stuff that I think is interesting to us Dolphin fans, i.e. Miami talk, Tua talk. But also, there's some interesting things he said about the contract situation. And guys, he was willing to take less than $30 million to stay in KC. But quite frankly, it looks like they just didn't, they were willing to get the compensation for him being the best receiver in the league, but they weren't willing to treat him and respect him like the best receiver in the league. And it's kind of a crazy dynamic. So let's go ahead. We'll get into that right now. Start off with this. Again, it's about 16 minutes I've chopped it down to. And we'll stop and we'll talk about certain things. So let's open this up.
He's been a world champion in Kansas City. He's played in 4 straight home AFC championship games. And now Tyreek has the amazing challenge of going to a new team and a young quarterback and helping the Dolphins, who haven't been in the playoffs in many years, become a winning team.
Right.
And become a winning organization. I'm excited
for
Tyreek because this is going to be a great challenge for him and an exciting opportunity. And I know he's gonna make a huge impact on this team, both on the field and off the field.
Right. Ow.
So, like, even Rosenhaus recognizes, like, these guys got a chance to go play with a young quarterback, a young team overall, and really change the culture of this franchise that hasn't tasted playoff success in quite some time. And, like, when I heard that even the agent is in on that, and even the agent, like, man, I think this is something they've talked about, and I think this is a goal of Tyreek's, is to change this around, change not only the culture but the identity of the Dolphins, and to being instrumental in that change. And man, check your pulse. That's all I gotta say.
I need you to be candid. I need honesty from you or Drew. Because if it was so great, what happened to last year to now we sitting in Miami?
I mean, Drew, you want to answer that first, or you want me to get into it? Because I got to kind of
I
lean
got
up.
questions that need answers.
Yeah, let me answer it. So frankly, guys,
Again, the leg on Drew.
I want you to start with. Hold on, Drew. I want you to start with all the texts I sent after every week, though. Like every week, I used to text you. I want you to start with that.
There was.
I want you to realize what Tyreek just said. He's basically admitted after every game, after every week in KC this last year, I was messaging Drew with my issues of what was wrong here. Right? I think that really got swept under the rug because we're going to get into Drew Rosenhaus's thoughts here. But Tyreek just said, Drew, talk about how I was texting you every week.
A lot of times during the year that we felt that Tyreek was underutilized and wasn't fully appreciated, and that they really weren't taking full advantage of all of his ability and talent. But Tyreek's a trooper. He never made a peep about it. He
never went to the
was
media.
extremely
by the way.
professional,
Right.
but Tyreek was a real champion and handled it. But it was frustrating on many occasions. After a number of games, Tyreek and I would communicate, and it was frustrating that he wasn't given a chance to do more to help the team in their efforts to win games.
Right.
And Tyreek's a very unselfish player.
Correct.
And is the consummate team player. But there were a lot of things during this season that just felt like there wasn't the same commitment to him. And, we got through the year. Tyreek wound up having another all-pro year and made another historical season, and had an epic postseason as well.
Mm-hmm.
And once the season was over, we reached out to the Chiefs and we said, "Hey, we want to keep it going." Tyreek wanted to be there. Tyreek wanted to be in Kansas City.
That's you say that again. Tyreek wanted to be in
Tyreek
KC.
wanted to be in Kansas City.
Wanted
to
be in KC.
We tried to do an extension with them.
Tried, man.
So I got a follow-up question on that. All right. So this wasn't a situation that you demanded a crazy amount of money, right?
No,
this was a situation where you know what you're capable of. Drew knows what you're capable of.
Correct.
The team knows what you're capable of, but they just didn't utilize you. Now follow up on that.
Right.
Do you think this was a situation to suppress his stats, to drop that value down when it came to a potential trade or a signing?
So when the season ended, just to get to your question, we went to the team and we basically said, "Hey, Tyreek did a contract after his third year. He's outplayed that deal. But we were really far apart on the numbers. We felt strongly that Tyreek was the best receiver in football,
right,
and deserved to get paid that way. They were very complimentary of Tyreek, but they were not prepared to make him the highest paid receiver in football."
Exactly. But Drew.
And then what happened was the Devontae Adams deal got done. And I called Tyreek and I said, "Look, here's a guy that is older than you, isn't as accomplished in my mind as you in terms of all the things that Tyreek can do with the football and away from the football, his ability to stretch defense and get
Rosenhaus got that.
Open things up for
Josh
Kelsey.
Rosen
And
connection.
when Adams got the huge deal, I spoke to Tyreek and we both agreed that we were going to put the pressure on the Chiefs, that they were either going to do a deal like that or it wasn't a great fit anymore, because the respect isn't mutual if you don't see it that way. And I talked to Brett Veach, the team GM, and I outlined the deal that Adams got, and that it should be a no-brainer for them to do that deal for us.
Right.
And if they didn't want to do that type of deal, then we would get them a blockbuster trade. I flat out told them that I felt like I could talk to teams around the league and bring great compensation. And I think the Chiefs initially wanted to challenge us and see what we could get from other teams contractually, and what we could also get.
This guy's basically saying the Kansas City Chiefs were complimentary of Tyreek. They bigged him up like the number one receiver in the league. But then when it came to money, they challenged him and were like, yeah, well, let's see if you can go get that money you're talking about. Let's see if other teams truly view him as that. They played chicken with Drew.
Crazy, right? But we haven't even reached the crazy part. We haven't even reached the crazy part yet. The crazy part, hold on, Drew. Pause. I'm finna pause you. Crazy part is I talked to Patrick Mahomes. I talked to Andy Reid, right? For 30 minutes or so.
Right.
I talked to both of them on the phone. I'm like, hey, coach, yo, like, I don't even gotta be the highest paid for real.
Right.
I just wanna be put in like a realistic position that's like realistic for me and my family, right?
You want to be compensated for your talent.
Exactly. I don't got to get 30 million. I at least give me 25,
right?
26,
right?
You know, they wouldn't even giving numbers.
So completely ignore the fact that.
So he just said I was cool with 25, 26, and their numbers weren't even close to that. That's literally what he just said.
You taking 2 and 3 defenders across the field to make way for Kelsey to have these historical numbers.
Completely, man. It's crazy how the business works, man. But like I say, I tried my best. I talked to the big man, Andy Reid.
Right.
I talked to the quarterback. I'm like, look, can we make something happen?
Right.
Can we make something happen? Can the guarantee money
helping?
I know a Buffalo fan ain't talking right now because the man you're watching right now is the guy who kills y'all in the playoffs. I know a Buffalo fan ain't talking.
Right. You know, and I think Andy wanted you to be.
I know.
Like I say, I tried my best. I talked to the
initially wanted to challenge us and see.
I talked to both of them on the phone. I'm like, hey, coach, yo, like, I don't even got to be the highest paid for real.
Right.
I just want to be put in like a realistic position that's like realistic for me and my family, right?
You know what Tyreek Hill's nickname is? Kill Bills Volume 10.
Compensated for your talent.
Exactly. I don't got to get 30 million. I at least give me 25,
right?
26,
right?
You know, they wouldn't even giving numbers.
So completely ignore the fact that you're taking 2 and 3 defenders across the field to make way for Kelsey to have these historical numbers.
Completely, man. It's crazy how the business works, man. But like I say, I tried my best. I talked to the big man, Andy Reid.
Right.
I talked to the quarterback. I'm like, look, can we make something happen?
Right.
Can we make something happen? Can the guarantee money make sense to me?
Right.
Can it make sense?
It's so funny. Bills fans all of a sudden have a short-term amnesia. They don't remember what Stephon Diggs did for Josh Allen. Yet we got someone who's light years better than Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill, and they really think he's going to have no impact. Like, do you have that bad a short-term amnesia? Like, it literally just happened to you guys a couple years ago. And we got a better defense than y'all. And we got deeper weapons overall than y'all. And you guys don't have a Teron Armstead or a Connor Williams for that fact. Yeah.
To my
family, you know
please.
What's fascinating was
Buffalo.
We were really deep in trade talks with the Dolphins and the Jets.
Josh Allen 7-1. All those Flores ain't here anymore.
Right.
And it looked like a deal was close, and then Andy Reid got involved, and spoke with Tyreek and asked Tyreek flat out, "Do you want to be here?" And Tyreek said, "Yeah."
I flat out said
and
yes.
Tyreek flat out told
Flat
Reed,
out said yes. I want to be here.
Tyreek, you really tried, and I think Andy wanted you to be there. And, ultimately the team's offer just was millions of dollars short on the guaranteed compensation. And that's just, in this world, you cannot, Tyreek's got children. It's hard to walk away from millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
And, quite frankly, Tyreek had a record.
When the Dolphins have an acronym anywhere close to the Bills acronym for their name, boy, I love losing Super Bowls, then I'll listen to what Bills fans have to say. Until then, y'all are from a city that's the armpit of the world. The fan base is the armpit of the world. You guys don't win when it matters. What good's having a Super Bowl contending team if you're never going to sniff a Super Bowl? The Buffalo Bills will never win a Super Bowl in my lifetime.
Setting career, he'll go down as the all-time great Chiefs receiver. He had a great run there and did a lot for them. But obviously they did not.
The Buffalo Bills trophy case is literally just full of participation trophies. That's it. Literally, that's it. You guys are like number one in participation trophies. Round of applause for the Bills.
Value him to the same extent that Miami and the Jets did. And when Miami offered and all those draft picks, I guess the Chiefs looked at it and said, we had a great run with Tyreek. And we've got a lot of high-priced players on the team,
business.
and they got a record amount of compensation.
Right.
It's the most I've ever seen.
So look, check this out.
To a team for a player.
So look, check this out. If they don't value you in like money wise, right?
Right.
But then like let's say I'm Brett Veach. Brett Veach was like, okay, we don't see you as $25 million receiver, but we're gonna try to get as many picks as we can up out of you.
Drew Brees didn't have an arm and won a Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Literally try to get like how
Dan Marino had an arm and didn't win a Super Bowl. What are we talking about? Josh Allen has an arm and ain't gonna win a Super Bowl. What are we talking about?
How many picks they got, Drew? About 5 picks.
Yeah, they did get
crazy,
5.
which is crazy.
Yep, they got 3 this year.
They value you.
Montana didn't have a good arm at all, and look at how many Super Bowls he has. Montana did not have a rocket. Brady, before he started working with Tom House and got his mechanics better, Brady did not have a rocket, and he still doesn't have a rocket. He throws with better velocity since he chased his mechanics up with Tom House, but Brady doesn't have a rocket. What are we talking about here? Trent Dilfer never had a rocket, won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson never had an arm, won a Super Bowl. What are we talking about here? Arms don't equate to Super Bowls. Drew Brees literally had no arm. That's why their whole offense was schematically about manufacturing space and getting guys in open space, because he's not going to start seaming tight windows because he didn't have the arm strength for that. What are we talking about here? Peyton Manning had literally 0 arm his last Super Bowl appearance. What are we talking about here?
Valued me more than Devontae Adams, but they didn't want to pay me like Devontae Adams, though. Crazy,
they
right?
They value your talent and your skill enough to get that from someone else, but not to actually give it to you for your
exactly, man. Crazy
yeah,
how the business is. It's backwards, right? I said the same thing.
So man, make sure all the listeners know.
So Tyreek, talking about that, look at how a player feels about that. You're not willing to pay me like I'm the best, but you want compensation like I'm the best of my position. So in one sense, you're telling me I'm the best player in my position, but in another sense, you're not willing to pay me like I'm the best player in my position. Look at the conflict that creates with a player. Crazy.
Your decision was not based upon solely the $30 million.
No.
It was, of course, I got to take care of my family.
Got to take care of my family.
But it was more so the disrespect you felt throughout the negotiation process.
It was a lot of things that played into. It was a lot of things that played until me leaving the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, like right before the season, I had a long talk with Andy Reid about my granddad having surgery, which is crazy. And I told him, I'm like, Coach, look, it's gonna be some days that I'm gonna be missing. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to fly back to Georgia to make sure my granddad is all right. You know, my granddad, he had prostate cancer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of things that transpired. You know, with me leaving the Chiefs. You know, and they didn't even want me to leave to go see my granddad. You know, and he was having surgery, prostate surgery.
Right.
So imagine that. You tell your coach, you basically notify everyone, my grandfather's got prostate cancer. I'm going to have to go and see him now and then. There's days. And here's the other thing. It's not like this guy sitting here needing to be for every single freaking install. He knows the offense. He knows the route tree. He knows what's expected of him. I mean, this isn't a first or second year guy where that kind of time is crucial to his development and fitting in with the offense moving forward. And you think after what he's done for Mahomes and what he's done for that franchise, he had earned a little bit of that cachet. And that's kind of crazy to me. When I heard that, I was actually very surprised because I'm a huge Andy Reid guy. And when I heard that, I was very shocked that they kind of pushed back on him in terms of, I want to go see my grandpa, he just had surgery. Kind of crazy to me.
And I'm like, yo, like, this is like ridiculous, you know? And now, like, I'm with the Dolphins. I tell Coach, like, Coach, I'm gone. He's like, all right, Coach.
So this is not a shot at anybody. Let's be clear. This is not a shot at anybody, but this just needs to be said. Right?
I love Andy Reid.
Bingo.
I love Patrick Mahomes.
Bingo.
My brother forever. I just seen him at F1, by the way. Love Travis Kelce. I love all my teammates.
But you just had to answer the questions that all of the fans are asking. You know, some of the media pundits, they went out, oh, he's going to regret this trade. He did it for money. He did it for money. They work for money. So I don't see what the problem is.
I just don't
Every
understand.
day they go to the media, they go on the news, they work for money. Everybody going to go to work. You want to be paid.
I just want people to understand that I went for 150 with Matt Moore as my quarterback. I love you, Matt Moore. Versus the Minnesota Vikings. If you don't remember that game, 150 and 1 touchdown with Matt Moore as my quarterback. So and Tua.
So what you trying to say?
And Tua T is 10 Matt Moores. I love Matt Moore, but Tua T is 10 Matt Moores. Let's get technical right now, man.
I was gonna
Shout out to
jump
Matt
in
Moore,
and
by the
tell
way.
you guys that
Sure.
you know the trade made a lot of sense on a lot of levels because you really want to be a part of the organization that values you the most.
Exactly.
And, you know, Tyreek got basically the full guarantee on the first 3 years of his contract. That's very rare in the NFL, and the Dolphins were willing to make NFL history, and they wanted to build the franchise around Tyreek, and that's really exciting to go to a team that's in a beautiful city like Miami and South Florida, and it's a great place to live. It's close to Tyreek's family. We talked about Tyreek's love for his family, his children, and his parents and his grandparents. What a neat opportunity for him, to geographically go to the South and play for a team that really wanted to make him the face of the franchise. And that's not the case in Kansas City. Mahomes is the face of the franchise, and in Miami, Tyreek's profile has picked up tremendously. This trade, we could have signed the same contract with the Chiefs, but there wouldn't be the same amount of notoriety and commitment.
But what's crazy is I don't care about notoriety, though. I don't care about none of that, man. I'm from South Georgia, dog. Only thing I care about is respect within the building. Notoriety outside the building, I don't care about none of that, man, because none of that ain't gonna win us games on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like Patrick, Kelce, they can have all of that. They can have all of that. But look, this is what I want inside the building. I want the head coach to know that on Sundays that defenses fear Tyreek Hill. That's what I want the head coach to know. And the head coach do know that, though. He know that without the cheat on the field, he know that, hey, Pat, you gonna have a long day today. You know what I'm saying? Pat, he heck of a quarterback, hell of a player. I love him to death, but come on, man. Sometimes I just want people to just be like, hey, Tyreek, like you him. You know what I'm saying? So, but
now let's switch gears, all right? You go from KC, cold. Now I know you love beach volleyball, so I know Miami is prime real estate with you, right?
Prime real estate, man.
You in the 305.
Let's go.
How has that transition been? I know the season hasn't started, but just that atmosphere of going from Kansas City to the 305.
Oh, it's been great, man. You know, believe this or not, I feel like the same values hold inside the locker room with the Miami Dolphins as far as like brotherhood. Mm-hmm. You know, coaches being close, players being close, and everything else. Tua's been a great quarterback to play with. You know, Jalen Waddle has been everything that everyone has said: fast, explosive, great guy.
I see. You know, people are like, oh well, because he's playing with Tua and not Mahomes, the stats are gonna go down. Well, first of all, Patrick Mahomes was number 1 in the NFL last year, throwing at the line of scrimmage. So let's not sit here and act like Mahomes was sitting here and throwing 50 to 60-yard bombs every time he was targeting the Tyreek Hill. Number 1 in the NFL at throwing at the line of scrimmage. Okay? First thing. All right? The other thing, too, is the personnel around Tyreek Hill. Like, listen, McCall Hardman and Demarcus Robinson, sure, they're fast, but they're not good. They're not nearly as good a route runners or have nearly as reliable hands as Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is now the best number 2 in the NFL. He's better than T. Higgins. He's better than any number 2 you can name. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are the best number 1, number 2 punch in the NFL, period. They both have like 4.27 speed. Who's got that out there? And they're both elite route runners, and they got great hands. Who's got that out there? Tell me who's got that out there. Tell me a defense that can defend it, because now you go to Cedric Wilson at number 3, who runs in the 4.51, but he looks 4.4 on tape. Then you got Lynn Bowden, who runs a 4.37 clocked at perform. Then you got Mike Gesicki, who runs a 4.5 at his size up the seam. You got Raheem Mostert, who runs a 4.3 out of the backfield. Like, people don't realize what we're about to put on the field right now. Listen, it's one thing to figure out how to defend us. It's another thing to have the personnel to defend us. And not a lot of teams, if any, in the NFL have the personnel to defend this. That's the issue all these people are going to run into. So all the personnel around Tyreek and around Tua, what are you going to double Tyreek? You can't double Tyreek, because now you're going to leave someone open that can burn you. Like, people don't understand the conflict we are putting defenses in. All right? The Kansas City Chiefs never had the running back committee we're about to field. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has not lived up to his draft hype. October 2019, I was telling all y'all, Jonathan Taylor is running back 1 in this draft class. Just like I was saying, Tristan Wirfs was running back 1, and Antoine Winfield was safety 1. And lo and behold, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he wasn't even he was like my 4th or 5th running back. Reach. Who they had to depend on? They had to depend on a former Dolphin, Damian Williams, to carry their run game on their Super Bowl run. So, listen, this is arguably one of the best supporting casts Tyreek's ever had. When you look at the weapons around him that are going to help make his life easier, he's never had a Jalen Waddle. He's never had a Raheem Mostert. So, man, it's going to be exciting.
Outside of playing football. So it's been...
Because he's either going to get a lot of one-on-ones in open space, or he's going to draw the attention and Waddle's going to get it, and Waddle's going to kill everyone. Take your pick. Pick your poison.
Fun, man. So, I mean, I'm very excited for the football season. I'm excited to see where this team will go, which I know this team will go very far because, man, I've had a chance to see Tua throw the ball to myself, but, man.
That's the next question.
Like, he's that dude, bro. Like what a lot of people don't know. Like I'm not just sitting here I'm not just sitting here just saying this because he's my quarterback now. And
you're not gonna give us the TO tears, are you?
Nah,
that's
bro,
my quarterback.
Like
we're not gonna get that.
I'm not trying to get more targets right now, but what I'm trying to say is Tua is that deal, bro.
He has an arm.
He has a heck of an arm, bro. He's accurate. He can throw the deep ball, and he actually goes through his reads. What people are like on Twitter are like saying, "Oh, he doesn't go through his reads." Man, this dude, that dude. So,
hold on. Don't people call him one read? Hold on. Don't people call him one read? Read quarterback.
He has a heck of an arm, bro. He's accurate. He can throw the deep ball, and he actually goes through his reads. What people are like on Twitter are like saying, "Oh, he doesn't go through his reads." Man, this dude, that dude. So
do you think it's just a comparison issue? You know, the media pundits, we've seen a lot of people talking about Tyreek. He's going to regret this trade. He's going to a quarterback who doesn't have an arm. He's this, he's that.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man.
How do you deal with that? Like, that's your quarterback. I know you're not going to give us the TO tears, right? I know you're not. But how do you
see? I've already showed the all 22 of him going through his every single Tua Tagovailoa snap has been broken for good or bad. Has been broken down on this channel. I've showed multiple times of him going through all of his progressions and stuff. And now you hear a Tyreek Hill coming in and talking about it. Thank you very much.
You deal with that. I know that's your quarterback. You got to protect him.
Oh, man. Look.
But I know you said he got an arm.
Right.
Who got the strongest arm? Tua or Pat Mahomes?
Tua or Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, like I'm going to go with 1.5 as the strongest arm. But as far as accuracy-wise, I'm going with Tua all day.
So which one would you rather have? The deep ball where you got to scramble around the field to try to go find it?
Oh, the Chief fans.
You want that accuracy to hit you right in the bread basket on the run.
I want it to hit me right in the bread basket just like I did in the Buffalo Bills game and take it 70. And the rest is history.
And again, this is not a shot at anybody.
Right.
This is just stuff that had to be said.
It needed to be said.
It needed to be said. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to know. The media, they killed Tua.
One more time.
Right?
One more time for all the Chief fans.
As far as accuracy-wise, I'm going with Tua all day.
So which one would you rather have? The deep ball where you got to scramble around the field to try to go find it? Or do you want that accuracy to hit you right in the bread basket on the run?
I want it to hit me right in the bread basket just like I did in the Buffalo Bills game and take it 70. And the rest is history.
What do I keep telling
and
all
again,
you?
This is not a shot at anybody.
Oh, you highlight reel society casuals that want 50, 60, 70-yard bombs. What do I keep telling you? Efficiency wins Super Bowls. Give me elite efficiency, elite accuracy, and a high football IQ over a rocket arm every day of the week. That's the recipe of why Brady's won Super Bowls. That's how Burrow made it to the Super Bowl last year. Listen, Burrow was a disaster on his pre-snap reads, especially with the hot reads. He was a disaster. But when he dropped back, if he wasn't sacked, he was efficient with the football. Made the throws when they presented themselves, those 3, 4, 5 throws a game that the defense is going to present to you where you got to make them and it's going to help shift the momentum in your favor towards the outcome of the game. You make those throws, you're accurate on the short to intermediate level. When the defense gives you over the top, you take it and you make them pay. You just be efficient with the football. Give me elite efficiency. That's what wins Super Bowls nowadays. Not highlight reel society. That's how Tom Brady beat Mahomes offensively. Obviously, Mahomes had issues with his offensive line. It was a disaster. But Brady, with what he could handle, with what was in his hands, and the only things he could control, he was just efficient that game. There were no bombs. All those throws to Gronk were seam tosses when they presented themselves. He took what the defense gave them and made them pay. Give me elite efficiency. And accuracy is a big part of that efficiency. Give me elite efficiency over the big arms every day. If that elite efficiency comes with a big arm, that's fantastic. But elite efficiency, elite accuracy, and a high football IQ will beat the big arm guys 9 times out of 10. That's just exactly what's going to happen. That's how Montana made it. That's how Brady's made a living. That's how Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson those years won. They were just efficient. They didn't turn the ball over. They took care of the ball and they made the throws when they presented themselves, and they weren't even good quarterbacks. They played off their defense.
Right. This is just stuff that had to be said.
It needed to be said.
It needed to be said.
That's all, man. Tua is going to kill defenses this year as long as we can keep them upright for more than 2.5 seconds, says Aldo. Man, I'm expecting. Hey, my expectations, I expect no less than a top 12 leap. If I don't get a top 12 leap, he has not met my expectations. All right? See, here's the thing. Tua has shown he can make every throw at the NFL level. It's about consistency with Tua. It's about consistently reading all three levels. It's about his touch and his accuracy, sharpening them up on all three levels, throwing on all three levels. You got to be better at his pre-snap reads. Got to be more consistent with them. We didn't see the consistency pre-snap we needed to see. Tua's main issue is the word consistency. It is not things he can and can't do. Anyone telling you different, A, doesn't know football, or B, doesn't watch the Dolphins. Take your pick. That's it. So that's it. That's what it is.
Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to know. The media, they killed Tua.
They killed.
Right?
They described.
But you at practice with him.
Right.
You love the deep ball.
I love the deep ball. But guess what though? Guess what? I done expanded my game.
Right.
So now I'm doing a lot more than just a deep ball now. I'm doing intermediate routes. I'm doing short routes. So now I actually need a guy who can just get me the ball now and on a dagger route, on a corner route, on a shallow cross route. You know, right now, right in my chest. So now I can do the rest. I make you look good now.
So defense is about to get chopped up this season.
Defense is about to get chopped up.
They've been getting chopped up. They've been
getting chopped up, man. But look, once you got Mike McDaniel calling plays, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, you got Cheeto on this side, and you got Mike G right here on the tight end. Come on, man. Tua spinning the ball. Right. It don't get no better than that.
I know you.
So, I mean, check your pulse, man. How can you not be hyped for what's coming this year to Miami, man? I mean, Tyreek out here, we're past the point of him building the confidence of his quarterback. We're getting into transparency levels. We're getting into this man's just speaking his mind. And Bills fans and Chiefs fans are in their feelings, and I get it. Bills fans got to face him multiple times a year now, and he already kills them already. And Chiefs fans are all bent out of shape because at the end of the day, he decided to leave and he said, I can make it without being a Chief. Get in your feelings. Live in your feelings. Swim in your feelings. Because you know what? We're basking in your feelings. We're drinking your tears over here in Miami because we're on the way up. Tyreek upgrades our team. It downgrades the Chiefs. And it also upgrades our chances of beating the Bills. So I'm all over it. Love it. Now, this is what I talked about earlier. I did a show a couple weeks ago, and it was in regards to, is this the best team, since the Marino era that the Dolphins have fielded? And I went back all the way back, and I believe I was like, I went back to like the 2004, 2016. I had to go all the way back to find a team that I felt as comfortable comparing to. And the reason why I want to go over this article is the Palm Beach Post. So they're doing a top 25 players summer countdown. But in doing it, JoeyShotz said it illustrated how improved the talent and depth for the current roster is right now. So I kind of find it curious that in doing their top 25 players countdown, they came to the same conclusion of a show that I ran a couple weeks ago, that this is one of the most talented rosters we've fielded since the Marino era, if not the most talented roster. And this is what they said. They said the Dolphins are scheduled to pay Tyreek Hill, Xavier Howard, and Taron Armstead more than $285 million, over the next 4 to 5 seasons, and they are more than happy to do it. That's because Hill and Howard and Armstead are at or near the top of the very best NFL players at their positions, receiver, cornerback, and left tackle. The Dolphins have reworked Howard's contract in each of the last 2 years because he was unhappy, and they want badly to keep him happy. Howard has clearly been Miami's best player for 4 straight seasons now. But now that's not so clear. Is Miami's best player actually Hill, a 6-time Pro Bowler, or is it Armstead, a 3-time Pro Bowler? Or can a legitimate argument be made for Jalen Waddle, Emmanuel Ogbah, Mike Gesicki, Javon Holland, or Christian Wilkins? Mike McDaniel is not only not taking over a bad team, he's taking over quite a good team with as much talent as any Dolphins roster since 2016. I think it's more talented. That year, they had Ndamukong Suh, Cam Wake, Jay Ajayi, Rashad Jones, Pouncey, and Jarvis Landry. And that led Miami to the playoffs in Gase's first campaign. The Dolphins also went to the playoffs in Tony Sparano and Dave Wanstead's first 5 seasons. They should be right in the AFC mix in 2022. So, they're going to reveal for it, and they go over why they're unveiling it and everything. And they decided to do this because Miami suddenly has so many good players that the list truly illustrates how good Miami can be as early as 2022. Dolphins general manager Chris Greer has officially proclaimed that Miami's rebuild is over and the winning window has opened. As evidence, Miami added Tyreek Hill, Terron Armstead, and veteran pass rusher Melvin Ingram, who totaled 12 Pro Bowls and 3 first-team All-Pro selections. Hill has surpassed 1,100 yards in 4 of the past 5 seasons. He is the best and most exciting offensive player the Dolphins have had since Dan Marino. Yeah, him or Ricky Williams are the most exciting and explosive offensive players we've had since Marino, for sure. Come on, that's what I do, baby, Hill said. I'm the cheetah, man. That's what cheetahs do to lions. You can't catch me. Hill has covered 40 yards in 4.29 seconds. Jalen Waddle has covered 40 yards in 4.37 seconds. They may be the fastest receiver duo in NFL history. Now, I've already showed you. I've played it on this channel. As a freshman at Alabama, he was neck and neck with Henry Ruggs, and I've played that race on this channel. And as we know, Ruggs ran a 4.27. Armstead is the best left tackle in Miami has had since Laramie Tunsil. I think he's better than Laramie Tunsil. I think he's the best left tackle we've had since Richmond Webb. He's better than Long, and he's better than Tunsil. Armstead allowed only 1 sack while playing for the Saints last season. The roster is a nice blend of experience and talented youth. Consider Waddle, Holland, and Wilkins and Jalen Phillips, any or all of whom could make multiple future Pro Bowls. For too long, Howard has been the only true star on the Dolphins roster. That has changed, and with that comes national relevance. Yes, ESPN and the NFL Network will continue to obsess about if Tua is under immense pressure and if this is a prove it or make it or break it, no excuses season. But there are plenty of other reasons to highlight the Dolphins, notably a cheetah and a penguin. When compiling the Palm Beach Post Top 25 Dolphins Players Summer Countdown Extravaganza list, we considered many factors. So they looked at past production, future production, projections, everything like that. And they considered even their value to the organization. So, I mean, I find it very interesting that, and they make a good point, right? We've gone through so many years where even Rashad Jones, let's be honest, Ndamukong Suh never lived up to the hype, and Rashad Jones was clearly the best and the star on that defense, right? We have gone through a period where we didn't really have a lot of stars, and now we got stars in the making. I mean, Wilkins is a star in the making. Holland is a star already. Jalen Phillips is a big star in the making. He had a better rookie season than Chase Young did. I mean, you look at it right now, Waddle star in the making, obviously. Tyreek's a proven star. Armstead's a star. Connor Williams is a star guard. He's one of the best run blocking guards in the NFL, right? Is Tua going to become a star? That's obviously a question we need to find out and get answered. But, we got more stars than we've had in recent years, and we got more stars in the making than we've had in recent years too. So it is a really good blend, and it's interesting to see how this is all going to play out, man. Really is. When you find that good blend of youth and veteran leadership, That's when special things can start to happen, man. So, Bleacher Report, they put out this article, and they said, what we've learned about every NFL team so far in 2020. Nice picture of Russell Wilson front and center there, looking all pretty with his New Jersey. And so with Miami, it's not going to probably surprise many people what they actually had to say for Miami, because you know where they're going to go. I mean, Joe Shad basically hinted towards it. It said, Miami Dolphins build around Tua Tagovailoa, no more excuses. All quarterbacks are under immense pressure. In Miami, the Dolphins' Tua Tagovailoa faces a different kind of scrutiny. The 2020 fifth overall draft pick sits in the unbelievable position of having to live up to what classmates and fellow top 10 quarterbacks Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert already achieved in their first 2 seasons. So far, Tagovailoa hasn't been up to the task. He's also been in what has arguably been the worst situation, but that's no longer the case. The Dolphins are now stacked with offensive talent under the watchful eye of new head coach Mike McDaniel. Among the offseason's biggest moves, the Dolphins acquired speed merchant Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs. Hill left a situation where he played alongside Patrick Mahomes. Even so, he likes what he's seen of Tagovailoa. I just feel like football is all about confidence, and I'm very confident in my quarterback. So I just feel like if I'm able to help him get all that confidence in the world and push other guys to push that confidence into him, then the sky's the limit for that guy, because there's a heck of a talent, has crazy arm strength and arm talent. We're all excited to just watch him sling the ball each and every day. But the Dolphins went beyond the Hill acquisition, fortifying the offensive line with the free agent additions of left tackle Taron Armstead and interior lineman Connor Williams. Cedric Wilson also gives the team a capable third receiver alongside Hill and Waddle. The Tua No More Excuses tour begins in earnest this fall. See, and I agree with that. I mean, people know that I'm expecting a top 12 leap. So obviously I'm not sitting here looking for excuses or any of that kind of stuff. But in the same sense, I've been trying to tell people here, we are one injury away to this offensive line from being right. If Taron Armstead or Connor Williams goes down, guys, we're right back to where we were last year. Just with one better guy added to the mix. But, you know, I worry about Eichenberg being a left guard, because I don't believe he all of a sudden developed the fundamental anchor to be inside. And I think they think that they can hide him between Armstead and Connor Williams, where Connor Williams is going to be going through his own lumps and bumps, learning center and getting acclimated to that position. So I'm not holding my breath, right? So, man, health is going to be of the utmost importance for that offensive line. Utmost importance. And then finally here, guys, we've been talking about the running back position a lot. And in the latest installment of the Dolphins Q&A, David Fronos and Omar Kelly answered some questions, and running back was actually a big topic. So, who starts at running back week 1, they were asked by a Canes fan. Answer: I've also received questions about ZaQuandre White, the undrafted rookie running back out of South Carolina. So let's combine this into an overall breakdown, projection of the potential depth chart at tailback. To start, I believe Chase Edmonds will be the most productive running back of the group between what he'll do rushing and receiving, and what will likely be running back by committee, which may limit the stats that anyone puts up. Edmonds should hold the most fantasy football value, especially in PPR. Raheem Mostert, although 30 and coming off surgery on a knee injury suffered at the start of last season, is as familiar as anyone with Coach Mike McDaniel's wide zone rushing attack. He catapulted his career in McDaniel's system with the San Francisco 49ers, and he was his starting running back in each of his last 9 regular season games, following his impressive stretch in the 2019 playoffs that helped the 49ers get to the Super Bowl. His performance in that playoff run that they went to the Super Bowl and lost was ridiculous. With Mosert's blazing speed, he can break the big one at any point in time, and it's always nice to get one of those long touchdown runs early and start with a touchdown lead. It would also make for a good story if Mostert got the first carry of the season after his 2021 campaign was cut short 2 carries in. Sony Michel, while only signed after Edmonds and Mostert in the initial wave of this offseason, should not be discounted in this regard. His between the tackles ability, which is what I've told you about. Like, this is the one guy that can fit between the gaps between Mozart and, he's got the vision to run through the gaps and he's got the body to handle the gap work. That's Michel, right? His between the tackles ability makes him a viable starting option when letting Edmonds and Mozart change the pace, even if one or the other two end up with more touches throughout the game. Michel, the hometown kid out of American Heritage High, also has by far the most career starts of any Dolphins running back, collecting 38 between both regular season and postseason play in his 4-year career with the Patriots and Rams. So we talk about Mozart's great run in 2019 with the Niners. Remember Michel in his rookie year on that playoff run? He was outstanding. Myles Gaskin, the returning back in this room, has 17 starts between the past 2 seasons with the Dolphins, but those backfields don't nearly compare with the competition in this one. His stock is also down after the 2021 midseason acquisitions. Duke Johnson and Phillip Lindsay either surpassed him or significantly ate into his touches by the end of the year, and neither Johnson nor Lindsay were retained by McDaniel. Salvon Ahmed's likelihood of making the roster is in question. And that should tell you a lot because he's a McDaniel guy, right? McDaniel and Shanahan drafted Salvon Ahmed. That's why Salvon Ahmed getting tendered was one of the first things McDaniel did when he arrived. Given the additions to the roster, the way he disappeared at the end of last season, and how he only averaged 2.7 yards per carry in 2021, that's not going to work in his favor. That said, in a recent practice, he did escape coverage for an impressive reception on a wheel route, like we've seen from him in the past. That one that went like 50, and they said it should have been a touchdown from Tua, offering hope he could return to form from 2020 when he was serviceable in spot duty. White, the South Carolina product, is a huge wild card in this mix. He has already caught the eye of McDaniel as the primary undrafted rookie he named when asked which ones have impressed in OTAs and minicamp. A factor that could benefit White is that he has played special teams in college during a stint as a linebacker at Florida State. Special teams prowess is always an X factor while trying to make the active roster, which I tell you is what's so worrisome about Noah Igbenogany. The guy couldn't become starter, but they didn't give him freaking special teams reps either. That's bad. Regardless, White has to leap ahead of at least a couple of veterans on this Dolphins roster. He already seems to have moved ahead of Jared Dokes, who spent last year on the on the practice squad as a rookie. Fitting 4 tailbacks on the roster also becomes slightly more difficult since McDaniel's system will incorporate the fullback. So a spot has to be reserved for Alec Ingold in that role. However, injuries always come up throughout the course of the season, so whoever remains on the practice squad should get opportunities to get elevated. So, I mean, even David Ferona's ZaQuandre White, I feel like he's going to sneak in at 4. I mean, we are seriously sitting here. I mean, it is serious, guys. I think there is a realistic possibility that Ahmed and Gaskin could get cut. I honestly think there is a realistic possibility. I do not think this is far-fetched, which is crazy to think about. Honestly crazy. And remember, now that we're getting into June, a little slow month, we're going to get back into my film breakdowns. I'm going to do a Tyreek Hill breakdown. I'm going to do a Teron Armstead breakdown. I'm also going to break down Waddle's rookie season, but I'm also going to do Verone McKinley, Kellen Deesh, and I'm probably going to put together a ZaQuandre White one. It's just I have a lot of broadcast footage with ZaQuandre White. South Carolina All-22 is very, very scarce for some reason. So I just have a lot of broadcast footage of him. So that's why I'm going to work that out. And I'm also going to do one specifically on Mike McDaniel and his offense because, as I told you guys yesterday, I have access to the Niners playbook as well as the Atlanta playbook from when McDaniel and Shanahan were there. So I want to do some kind of breakdown of maybe what to expect from our offense this year. But a lot of content expected to come over the month of June and into July before we get to camp, guys. So I'm gonna be back Monday night. I got this done, so I got a bunch of stuff going on tomorrow, so it wasn't gonna be a feasible thing. So I'm gonna be back on Monday night, more than likely Monday or Tuesday, but I'm leaning towards Monday. And we're gonna start kicking off with some of that content this week. Gonna get Verone McKinley out to you guys this week. And we're going to start kicking off the film breakdowns, et cetera, et cetera. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out and showing some love. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your Saturday night. Enjoy your Sunday. And I will see you guys either Monday or Tuesday, more likely Monday. All right? As always, stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. And as always, fins up all day, every day. Y'all already know the deal.